Today we're going to do a useful video, finally a useful video after all this time. So if you were pregnant or you were considering getting pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, or maybe you're just curious about skincare culture, education, skincare encyclopedia, even if you're a man, maybe this is interesting. What about skincare and pregnancy? What are the safe ingredients, unsafe ingredients, good practices, good ideas and bad ideas? Let's talk.
Oh!
Hi skincare people, Custodio here, DH Traveler, always asking the question, what is that skin wanted before marketing got in the way? One thing we don't want is marketing getting in the way of pregnant women who might be wondering what's safe, what's not safe. You have 9 months to make it right. So this is maybe the first message before we go into the ingredients and the practices. In case of doubt, step back, be simple. It's only 9 months, so whatever concerns your skin is facing, maybe it's not going to be the end of the world that you suspend some of the things that you were doing. But on the other hand, there is a lot of evidence and some studies which also identify some ingredients which are 100% safe throughout pregnancy. So let's divide, because I tell you, this really motivation for this video came from a dinner party I had last weekend, and there was a pregnant invite to the dinner, and she was, after she knew that I was working in skincare, asking me a lot of questions, and I realized, together with how much customer service and inquiries over the website, very often we get questions within these areas of what's safe, this ingredient is safe, that ingredient might not be safe, and so on. So I thought, gave it some notes, and to wrap it up all in one same video, and I divided in 4 different skincare categories, which are those which really raise more doubts. Because I don't think there is any doubt in terms of your cleanser, your toner, your basic moisturizer, your makeup. Those are not really something you should worry so much or at all, but in case of doubt, something I should say from start, and I think I'm going to repeat it throughout the video. In case of any doubt, anxiety, question mark, you should always validate all your questions and answers with your physician, with your doctor, who will most likely also advise you to simplify your regimen. But what are the 4 categories, not 4 categories, which normally raise more questions? So one is sun protection, another one is acne, another one would be pigmentation and spots, and anti-aging in general. So let's go to the first, sun protection. And here, when going through pregnancy or breastfeeding, normally the question is it safe to wear chemical sun protection, or should we move towards a mineral physical protection? I must say that here the answer, based on evidence and based on clinical studies, is that there is not a single study giving any evidence that chemical filters pose any risk for the baby, any risk for yourself throughout pregnancy. There is no evidence whatsoever that the chemical filters penetrate in the bloodstream in significant fractions that can pose any risk. But of course, again, it's 9 months. In case of any question mark, by all means, you can find an alternative in a mineral protection. One thing is for sure, you should not be without a sun protector for those 9 months. But why? Why to dwell? I just think that if it's the other way around, if you have a chemical filter, which is your favorite, has always been your favorite, it's the one that you apply in quantity and with a frequency that really protects your skin, there is no reason to stop doing so. What could sometimes be the case is that the hormonal fluctuations and the added sensitivity that some women go through during the period of pregnancy could make your skin more sensitive to the chemical filter, and that would be a reason to move to a mineral filter. But it's not set in stone that there is a real hazard. Now we talk acne. For acne, there is one huge red flag. It's the reddest, brightest of all these flags, and it's not a joke, and it's not to be taken lightly, which is retinoids. If you are taking oral retinoids, I'm sure that your dermatologist, because these are only sold over prescription, you've been warned over and over that oral retinoids pose an hazard for the health of the baby, which is one of the most serious hazards that you could be facing. So topical retinoids are also known for posing, not to the same extent, but to pose a totally unnecessary risk. You can totally be off retinoids for those 9 months, longer if you are breastfeeding. So this is a total no-go. Doesn't matter if you take retinoids, any sort of retinoid, topically, retinol, retinal, retinaldehyde, which are synonymous. So any retinoid, it's a total no-go. Doesn't matter if it's for acne, if it's for anti-aging, we will talk about it, but there is no go for retinoids. So what is that you can do if you are dealing with acne? So normally the other classic used to handle acne to be salicylic acid. Salicylic acid, it's safe during pregnancy. I would personally, and this is more my personal advice, because also believing that your skin sensitivity can be increased, I would stick to the rinse-off type of salicylic acid. So face cleansers containing salicylic acid, masks containing salicylic acid, I think they are totally fine. A leave-on product with more than 0.5 salicylic acid, I would maybe suspend for the sake of the whole question mark, as I say, of the 9 months. Again, here there is some data that maybe there is some absorption if you are above 0.5 on the leave-on. The rinse-off should be totally fine. So another weapon against acne will be benzoyl peroxide. This guy, which is mostly like a bacteria, typical acne bacteria killer, should be kept throughout pregnancy without any problem, as long as you keep it to maximum 5%. There are some topical applications with this ingredient which are above 5%. Those should be suspended. Also, in case of doubt, if your acne is not so severe, you can also resume more to the rinse-off type of products containing the ingredient as opposed to the leave-on. So we already kind of took away from you a lot of solutions. What is the one solution we could add? That would be clearly based on all evidence of safety, azelaic acid. Azelaic acid, not exactly being a specific anti-acne, has many benefits that can contribute to the good management of acne lesions and acne problems. So azelaic acid is anti-inflammatory, can contribute also to anti-redness, has a slight leisure effect of exfoliation as well, not comparable to salicylic acid, but azelaic acid has this safety in terms of not being absorbed through bloodstream whatsoever, so it's quite safe throughout the whole pregnancy. Okay, third case, I'm always making mess with my fingers. Good, I only have 10. Third case, it's pigmentation management. And here there is a red flag in the US, which is hydroquinone. Hydroquinone still sold over the counter in the US, no longer in Europe and many other parts of the world. So for those pregnant, not pregnant, it's not an issue. In the US, I would say, because it's still available over the counter, this is one ingredient I would take out from your toolbox throughout your pregnancy. I would even, for those 9 months, take out alpha-arbutin, because alpha-arbutin transforms itself, cascades inside skin into molecules which are very similar to hydroquinone, and those, exactly, that's why they are so effective. They really penetrate deeper into your body, and we don't want that question mark during those precious 9 months. So now that we took 2 out, what are we keeping or adding? We are sure keeping, when it comes to pigmentation, vitamin C. We are keeping AHA in general, so glycolic acid, lactic acid. There is absolute no risk using those products. In case of doubt, consult your physician. What else could we keep or add or change here? Well, we mentioned azelaic acid for acne. Azelaic acid, it's one we could repeat as a very safe bet and one which also counteracts post-inflammatory pigmentation. It helps a lot also to address redness and many pathways which are contributing to the darkening of pigmentation. Niacinamide, another one which throughout pregnancy will be safe, and also in your toolbox together with azelaic acid to win against pigmentation. Still talking about pigmentation, because some women throughout pregnancy, they actually become problematic in terms of pigmentation because those hormonal changes can at the same time make them more prone to dark spots and kind of opportunistic pigmentation. So think tranexamic acid. In case you have missed, the video is here. It was actually last week. I did this video just specifically on the actions of tranexamic acid, and this is one for sure which it's not problematic throughout pregnancy because actually it was created from start to be prescribed orally to women after delivering the baby, even though they would be breastfeeding. This was never a problem. So dear mother-to-be, what about anti-aging? It doesn't matter. I don't know how old you are and you don't need to tell. Now that you are having your baby, maybe you are no longer so young, so you have your anti-aging concerns. You've been using anti-aging products. Well, retinoid, we red flagged it, so of course the same thing stays. So what in your toolbox can be used throughout pregnancy for anti-aging? Well, vitamin C we mentioned, it's still a positive antioxidant. Don't forget, we validated sunscreen. Sunscreen is the first weapon against anti-aging. The AHAs, as I mentioned, they can stay. Hyaluronic acid can stay. Collagen can stay. Peptides can stay. So if you want to have some fun and some change and to still feel that you are doing something different from your skincare while being totally safe with your baby or new life project, peptides could be, because these are protein chains, macromolecules, which stay very much in the epidermis and reach the basal layer, but certainly not enter the bloodstream. So all the peptides which can boost collagen synthesis, which can work also in terms of exchange, epidermal junction energy, so to make your baby cells more dynamic, all these can be ingredients very safe throughout pregnancy. So I hope this was helpful. If nothing else, maybe you are not pregnant, planning to be, maybe you're a man. If nothing else, what you can do is next dinner party you attend, if there is a pregnant lady in the room, it's already boring, she cannot drink alcohol, so at least you can chit chat about do's and don'ts in skincare. And speaking about boring, we always say no to the boring skincare. See you next week. Ciao. Pregnant, not pregnant, I think you should stay with the channel. There is a video every Friday. I'll be very happy if you subscribe.